Capitán
Captain of the Navy, Juan Carlos Cruz Ruiz, Commercial Director of the train of the Istmo train, in representation of very well. Now we are going to move on to, can we all stand up in order to listen to our national anthem. Thank you very much. Can we take a seat now? I want to invite now Mr. Planto Leite Paiva, General Director of the Chemical Terminal, Puerto Mexico, who is going to give his address. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for, I want to greet the Presidium, Mr. Economy Secretariat and Development of Advario, in his participation, and also the participation of our governors of the state of Veracruz. Your Excellency, the third commander of the Navy of this area, Ricardo Gutierrez Albaca, in representation of the Marine Secretariat, the Admiral Villadosantes, and the Excellency of my dear Admiral Joaquín Cepeda Mirano, and the Director of El FIT, the Admiral Juan Carlos Ruiz Cruz, in representation of the General Director Osalvo, the new Director of the Interoceanic Corridor, and welcome, and obviously our excellent Director of Brasque Midesa, and of course, the other Excellency
Director General de Advario,
of the General Director of Advario, the Municipal President of Coatzacoalcos, Mr. Malpica, and obviously Esmeralda Mora Zamudio, our governors of the Alcalde of Nanchital. And I also want to thank the presence of the infrastructure of customs area in Saint Mondoch, in representation of the General Director and of the Secretariat of the IRS. And obviously here at the presidium of this event is dear friends, members of the press, and all the people invited, our special guests. Finally, we reached the final stage of this wonderful construction of the chemical terminal Puerto Mexico. It was 3 years of intense work of all a complete team of engineers, professionals, and thousands of workers of different specialties and areas which contributed for the execution of this terminal. We are now in this stage, this week of the week of pre-operation, where we are going to receive different chemicals and ethane, and we are going to condition all the pieces of equipment for 3 weeks more in order to deliver ethane to our dear partner and shareholder Braskem Idesa. Now we are still finishing with some construction. Obviously we have to do tests and different trials, cleaning of more terrain. But we already have the first part, which is already finished and ready to receive product. And in 2 days more, 2 days time, the tanks will start to receive this product. And obviously we have very little, we are almost at the last stage of the other parts of the infrastructure to receive this ethane. As you have seen in different pictures, jetty number 8 of the Lagoon of Pajaritos, this one has been planned 50 years ago, but it was never constructed. And now, here it is now constructed. And a little over 10 days ago, we already received the first vessel of ethane with cryogenic gas, and we are now using it for the test for the conditioning of our facilities. That jetty, once concluded all the works and starting in operation, and definitely to the definite or final terminal, we can build half. We can have half of the jetty for Pemex, and here obviously represented by the director of this zone, Mr. Angel Rosbetti, and with that we can increase the increase of capacity of operation, and as some of the colleagues have already mentioned, we have for sure we're going to be using it for the flow of materials and of fuels and materials for the refinery of Dos Bocas. That cryogenic terminal, besides this, this depends on very specialized pieces of equipment. Great 50,000 square meters, operating at temperatures below 2 degrees centigrade, and a series of other pieces of equipment for the conditioning and processing of ethane for this area. It was constructed an ethane duct of 10 kilometers, which interconnects this terminal with its client Braskem Idesa, and a conjunction of pieces of equipment for the reception and delivery within Braskem Idesa complex. Therefore, so Braskem Idesa is not only here at the dock, but they are also within the facility of Braskem Idesa. And also, in conjunction with the government 3 years ago when we started this project, we left in our ethane duct a point of interconnection in order for an eventual or temporary Pemex or other companies which could use this ethane from this chemical terminal, Puerto Mexico. We want to thank for this great project, for this great construction could not have been realized or fulfilled with a series of different dependencies and organisms outside. Therefore, here present many of the people who supported us, starting by the leaders of the union, our national union of the petrochemical and industries, engineering organisms, and also the CTM, the regional CTM, which is the worker unions nationwide. And speaking about work labor or labor force, we have at this construction 2,200 people working. It has 98.8% were Mexican workers out of these 2,200, and 24 foreigners as me. When obviously now I already feel with the heart of a Mexican, and 1.2 foreigners, and the rest were obviously Mexican, 98%. In that 98.8%, 77% were from the state of Veracruz. And precisely as a consequence of our compromise since the beginning to prioritize to the population of the labor of this area and the states. And within these Veracruzans, 87% of them are from the municipalities of the nearby municipalities, Coatzacoalcos, Minatitlán, Cozoleacaque, Nanchital, all of these municipalities nearby. And many of these neighbor community, which is Villa Allende, obviously they are part of Coatzacoalcos. Therefore, we want to not only prioritize Mexicans and obviously integrants of the state of Veracruz, but we are always considering within this petrochemical terminal people with this is obviously part of our compromise and social responsibility. The terminal has a main purpose from complementing the national production of ethane and to allow imports of this ethane, which is very necessary for the development of all the petrochemical complexes of this region, not only for the high client, for our main client Braskem Idesas, but also indirectly to lead an important volume of ethane, which is now consumed by Braskem Idesa. It is also going to be available to feed the different Pemex complexes, and with this we can increase the production of oil derivatives in ethylene oxide, glycols, and also for many other oil derivatives, and obviously for companies which are in this region, which are obviously working in conjunction at this project. These are not only attending our client Braskem Idesa, but it is also contributing to all the petrochemical industry of this area, of this region, for Pemex, for Idesa, for Beta, for all the different important companies in this industrial park. With that, Braskem Idesa could now operate at 100% capacity with ethylenes, substituting, generating more jobs, and also more Pemex complexes doing the same with the other operation leaders, and to favor the rest of the company's industrial park. With this, in this construction, we had the support of many entities, the municipal government, the state government, which supported us in the process of this construction with via or way access, with different work permits, and obviously there was an important investment in this petrochemical area and project. Obviously, I would say that this is the main project of this project in Braskem Idesa in 2016. This is the second most important project. And for all this industry, this is the first great industrial investment of the influence area. And this is very significant. We are all here demonstrating that it is possible to make investments, to make structural investments of great value, of great added value. In that sense, I want to thank the diverse leaders of the corridor which have accompanied us since the beginning, starting by the licenciado, the authority different other, the Admirant Juan Carlos Mirante, and now the recently incorporated the Admiral Juan Carlos Vega. This is not a dream. This can be a platform, a very important platform for different industrialization of this area of Veracruz, the state, and of course Coatzacoalcos, the state and of Mexico. Besides being an important construction, we have always been accompanied by the other important dependencies and authorities of Coatzacoalcos, and here represented by Lisa Pineda, the customs agency represented by Heyman Dodge, and by the Professor Estendivas here present, with the Capitany of Ports, who is also here present. Thank you very much, Captain. And for the third Navy zone, represented here by the Admiral Barradas, and so forth. In all this area which have been associated to this port, who have accompanied us, oriented us since the beginning. That's why, with a lot of pride, this chemical terminal, Puerto Mexico, is obviously the main project in this company, of the city of Coatzacoalcos, and therefore it has developed important investment in this area. Besides the authorities from the port, also the customs authorities who are obviously here present in Zamudio. Obviously, we have always had a very positive partnership with them, and in special the state of Veracruz, against Leo, the Secretariat, and the diverse organisms who are here present as well. We have had a very strong presence in talks with all of these agencies and authorities, the SEDENA, the Labor Secretariat, the Work Secretary, and all of them in one way or the other have participated in this venture. It is obviously, we've had an important support from here, the Technology Secretary of Energy, the Semarnat, and Environment, the Customs Agency, CONAGUA, the Water Commission, and Pablo Robles, the leader of this region, who have given us his support always. And obviously, who are our neighbors, whom we are going to share this jetty recently built, among other benefits coming from this project. And I also want to thank, in a very important way, the permanent support that we have had from the different companies, Braskem-Idesa, Advario, from the oil tanking group, here represented by their general director, Baz, Isabel, and diverse members of the executive committee of all the companies of the two groups. Thank you for being here and to celebrate with us, obviously, and the names of all these companies. And lastly, I want to thank my colleagues from Tqpm. We are three director colleagues, Sergio, Mauricio, and myself. Thank you very much to all the administrative team for Tqpm, human resources, people and organization. Thank you all for being here, for all your support. And all of us have worked with a lot of energy in these last years to reach or to be at this point, at this stage of this inauguration through in this venture. And obviously the construction company Icaflor. Thank you, Eduardo, Jose Luis, Oscar, and thank you to all the colleagues, workers of Icaflor who are here present today, and etc. More than 1,200 people that we have worked together to reach this point today. I also want to present a very small video clip which tells a little bit of the history of what this adventure has been. But before this video clip, I want to give a big round of applause. I also wanted to thank people who are not here present. My wife Patricia, who has supported me always in these last 3 years of struggle. The husbands or wives of all of you who have worked in team with this group and with this project. Thank you very much for your support, your sacrifice and struggle. I believe that once this is finished, we can dedicate to them and to our families, dedicate the time they deserve. Therefore, it's an honor for me and the same for you. It's an honor to have concluded with this project, and thank you all and your families. Let's go to this video clip.
Estoy aquí junto y mirando a nuestro sueño, que es esta terminal lista y operando. Y ahora se transforma en realidad. Celebramos el inicio
We celebrate
de una
the
gran
beginning
obra
of
y
this
de una
great
nueva empresa
venture
que irá a
and a
contribuir
great
para el desarrollo de
infrastructure
esta
for
región
the development of this
y
region
de toda la industria
and
petroquímica.
for all the petrochemical industry. Elevated dome. Elevated dome. Underground drop 10 kilometers. Directional perforation. Connection of the dock to the complex Las Gemilesas. The arrival of the Creeper to jetty number 8.
Gracias a todos por todo el trabajo.
Thank you all for all the support and the work. Social responsibility. with the environment, with the community, local safety, with safety. With our people,
Muchas gracias, muchas gracias.
thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Cleanto.
Thank you very much, Cleanto.
A continuación, me gustaría
Now,
invitar
next, I
a
would like to
Isabel
invite
Figueiredo,
Isabel
directora
Figueiredo,
general de
General
Braskem Idesa,
Director
quien tiene
of
un
Braskem
mensaje para
Idesa,
todos
who
nosotros.
has a message for all of us.
Gracias, Paco.
Thank you very much, Paco.
Muy buenas tardes a todos.
Good
porque ya es
afternoon
tarde.
to all of you. I know it's a
Muy
little
estimados
bit
miembros
into
del
the afternoon.
Presidium,
Members of the Presidium, Maestro
Ernesto
Ernesto
Secretario de
Pastora,
Desarrollo Económico
Secretariat
y Portuario
of
del
the
Gobierno del
Economic
Estado de Veracruz,
Development of the Ports of the State of Veracruz, Amado Guzmán
Alcalde de
Alpica, the
Coatzacoalcos,
Governor of Coatzacoalcos, Esmeralda González Mordillo, she is the
Contraalmirante
Mayor of
Cepeda
Nachital,
Anguiano,
and
Director
Anguiano, who is the Director of the Coatzacoalcos Municipality, Mr. Vaz Bercoince, General Director of Advario, Cleanto Leite, General Director of the Chemical Terminal of Puerto Mexico, Quincia de Jesus Godarte, he is the commander of the Naval Zone of Secretary in representation of the Naval Agency, Engineer Herman Loinch, Director of the National Lawyers of Mexico, Juan Pablo Cruz Ruiz, Commercial Director of the Istmo of Tehuantepec. So I greet with pleasure to all of you, our guests, shareholders, clients, representatives of the companies of this region, leaders of the companies in finance, representatives and collaborators. Thank you very much for being here with us today in this very important event for us. It's a very important day for Braskem Idesa, since the initiative of this construction of Tqpm was born under a premise which was fundamental, which was and it continues to be to contribute to the development of Mexico, of Veracruz, and to obviously the national representation. Humberto, but we were determined to make this a reality because we knew that this was going to be a great benefit to bring to this country. And Tqpm is a fundamental project which contributes which all the productive chains to increase the availability of ethane, which will allow at the same time a greater production of more, which obviously proud to be made here in Mexico. This increase of the production is going to increase the industry of the plastic to produce and increase this increase to the production in this, which is going to incentive the plastic industry to produce a greater capacity with all of this, which conform the daily lives of millions of Mexicans in different sectors, and obviously in the development of agriculture's watering systems, and obviously the sectors of health, and obviously as well as different activities for clue activities and developments for the country, development of construction, electrical infrastructure, and telecommunications. In a geopolitical environment in all Mexico, we present with President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, in the production of national goods and products. This is how Tqpm now contributes to this plan and project with the development of the existence, and obviously impacting positively in the development and diminishing the imports that were of ethylene, which currently supersede the 80% nationally. This petrochemical company of industry of Blasque Medesa to the storage of 54,000 tons of ethane, and now is going to be the great capacity, and this is going to now have the possibility to potential the production between the order of 20 to 25. And this project was developed in synergy with Pemex, in conjunction with Pemex, which were to adapt newly a greater availability for the production in their different petrochemical complexes, besides being the entity to benefit to all this area of the jetty, and obviously Tqpm. In Blasque Medesa, we are an ally of Pemex, and we obviously have our availability as one of their strategic clients, and obviously to consume ethane as a possibility to explore the possibility. We are now sure that these are going to continue reusing our national petrochemical development. This is, as the director of this great company, I want to thank the support of all the authorities, the federal authorities, state authorities, and municipal authorities of the Interoceanic Corridor, and these other municipalities and authorities for all their support and their disposition to make this project come true. And finally, I want to share with you that at the end of last year, and I assumed as the director to come to Blasque Medesa and to be here and at 2025. All you could see here was obviously put together and devised by different organisms and teamworks and all the heart of Mexico. I want to appreciate and thank the opportunity to continue with this marvelous project, which is Blasque Medesa, and obviously to handle the logistics of what all this capacity is capable of in this industrial park. My special thanks to all the sectors and who helped us begin from this. And thank you very much. A special thanks as well for member of the Council for Blasque Medesa for his authority and identification with this company. Thank you, Bianca.
E
And
Bas
Bas Bergointen, General Director, as well as all of their team, all the team of leadership of Advario and our TQPM with their compromise with this project. I finish with I want to congratulate and recognizing everyone who worked and struggled and fought for this project and to make a reality of this project. Congratulations.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Isabel.
Ahora me
Now
gustaría
I would like
invitar
to
aquí al frente
invite
a
here to
Bas
come to the
Vergoyen,
front a Bas
director
Vergoyen,
general de Advario.
the General Director of Advario.
Dear Mr. Secretary, dear distinguished members of the Presidium,
Estimada señora gobernadora, distinguidos invitados, colegas y
es
demás.
un gran honor para mí estar aquí con ustedes hoy para la inauguración de la terminal Tqpm
It's
Puerto
a-
México. You ready to translate that as well into Spanish?
Yes, of course. It's a pleasure to be here with all the authorities in conjunction.
This is
Participating.
very proud and
Este es un
for
momento
all
muy,
of us here at Advario,
este es
for
un,
our valued partners at Blasque Midesa,
este es un gran honor para mí estar aquí hoy con ustedes para la inauguración de la terminal petroquímica Puerto México.
for the wider community here at Coatzacoalcos and Veracruz, and
Para,
I trust also for Mexico.
por supuesto, este es un momento de orgullo e importancia para todos en Advario, para nuestros valiosos socios de Blasque Medesa y para la comunidad en general aquí en Coatzacoalcos y Veracruz y ojalá también para México.
Mexico is a country with extraordinary energy, talent, and potential.
México es un país con energía, talento y potencial extraordinario. Cuenta con una industria energética y química en crecimiento y desarrollo.
It has a growing and developing energy and chemical industry, and is taking very important steps towards a stronger and more sustainable future.
Está dando pasos importantes hacia un futuro más sólido y sustentable. Nos orgullece formar parte de este viaje.
And we are very proud to be part of this journey.
Estamos muy orgullosos de formar parte de este viaje.
And I would like to sincerely thank the government, the local authorities, and all stakeholders in this region for giving us the opportunity to expand Advario's business into your beautiful country and this beautiful region.
Y quiero agradecer sinceramente al gobierno, a las autoridades locales y a todos en esta región por su apoyo y por brindarnos la oportunidad de expandir el negocio de Advario a su hermoso país y región.
It's almost 3 years ago, it was in July 2022, that I came here for the first time.
Fue hace casi 3 años, en el 12 de julio del 2022, que vine aquí por primera vez.
And it looked so different then. The land had not been cleaned. It was basically a wilderness full of bushes and trees.
Todo se veía muy diferente entonces. El terreno no se había limpiado, era prácticamente un desierto lleno de árboles y arbustos.
And we had to wear leg protectors to prevent us from snake bites.
Y teníamos que utilizar protectores de piernas para protegernos de las mordeduras de serpiente, las famosas viboreras.
And here we stand, less than 3 years later, to open a brand new terminal for the import of ethane into Mexico.
Y aquí estamos de pie hoy, a solo menos de 3 años después, para inaugurar esta nueva terminal para la importación de etano en México.
And the impact of Tqpm will go far beyond its own gates.
Y el impacto de Tqpm trascenderá más allá de sus puertas.
The This terminal will play an important role in strengthening Mexico's energy and petrochemicals supply chain.
La terminal continue with his address.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much to all of our distinguished presidium and to all accompanying us today. Well, they have already told you the history of all the stakeholders and what we lived with this project from the side of the government, the federal government, and at its moment with the support that we had from the state municipalities. And about 5 years ago, Cleanto and Estefan talked to us about in a meeting that we had about their mission in order to create a terminal here in Coatzacoalcos. Mainly because of the treatment of ethane and obviously the project and main goal of Braskem Idesa in order to have the fabrication or making of the ethane of this industry. We were then promoting the infrastructure of the interoceanic corridor, and we saw this project coming into the horizon, and somehow we knew that this was going to be a great apportion to the zone in Coatzacoalcos. And before we started this adventure, we started with all the red tape, all the bureaucracy, and all the government. In this government of Mexico, in every part of the world, then we had to start revising how we could help and how we could provide the different lands and to obviously to build this plant, all the permits that were required, the environment permits, all the water permits, obviously the electricity, and for all the ways for the docks. And we had to look into this with the federal government, with the IRS secretary, with Pemex, with Cinegas, and different instances in Mexico. They were important. I am going to be very brief because it's already almost lunchtime, and besides that, the heat is really making us struggle here. So we are at the beginning of the spring, but overall, the message I want to put through today is that we really appreciate, we are very thankful to this great investment that has been done on the side of the Netherlands partners who are here. We can give them a big round of applause because this is a very important investment for our friends of Brazil, from Brazil of Braskem. We are really happy. We are glad that you have trust in Mexico, that this plant is going to be operated at a high capacity with the benefit that it's going to bring to this area, not only for the state of Veracruz and for the south portion of this state, but as well as Cleanto already mentioned, for all the country and for the petrochemical development in this country. We are now an anchoring project for the interoceanic project. This is an anchoring project. This is going to have a lot of movement. It's going to give a lot of life to the train of the Istmo train, and at its moment, part of the production is going to be it's going to be transported to Asia. And for all of the members who have participated in this project, all the workers, to all our peers forming part of the chemical terminal Puerto Mexico. And this is a clear example of a great investment, an investment of around $500 million, which is being done in Mexico. And of course, for this foreign financement, a nice group of foreign investors, we obviously we wish you a great pleasure, a lot of luck and fortune in this investment.
Muchísimas gracias,
Thank you very much, engineer.
Vamos a invitar ahora
We are now going to
al
invite
Juan Carlos Cruz
the
Ruiz,
Navy Captain Juan
director
Carlos
comercial
Cruz
del
Ruiz,
ferrocarril del Istmo de Tehuantepec.
direction commercial of the
Mensaje.
train of this corridor with his address.
Por su historia,
Because of its history and its purposes, social purposes, and for the compromise of who operate this day to day, now with pride we can say that the interoceanic train is and will be the train of the town or the country of Mexico. Good afternoon, everyone. I gladly greet these authorities, these distinguished personalities who are with us here today in this very significant day. Please receive cordial greetings from the director of the Tehuantepec Istmo Corridor and obviously the different authorities, which as the general director of the interoceanic train. The honesty, the transparency, and the well use of the resources are key factors to reach this outcome. This today, May 7, 2025, fills us with pride to be here together to celebrate a construction, a project which represents a firm step towards the recuperation of the chemical sector of this part of the country. This was designed with high standards of quality and with the experience of professionals compromised with their, committed to their work or in their work. Was it easy? Of course it was not easy. Was it really worth it? Of course it was worth it, because when we work with commitment and pride, there isn't any goal that cannot be reached. Obviously, as you can see here now, here we have this project which was built with the support of our authorities in all the environments, with the conjunction, teamwork, people and foreign investment who trust in Mexico, and obviously the help of many hands, many general workers who gave their struggle and time for this project and this infrastructure. Now we are integrating a productive system which includes the dock or pier or jetty and this terminal and this ethane duct which connects directly with the plant Braskem-Idesa. This strengthens the region industry of Coatzacoalcos and Veracruz. This terminal also is added with a lot of pride with the corridor of the Istmo de Tehuantepec. This project, of course, which is a reality now, thanks to the historic investment of the Mexican government. Now we have cargo trains and passenger trains that every day are passing and going through these lines, this train. And obviously our message has been clear to boost the economy and to increase or improve the quality of life of people in this region. We obviously would really like to see this important source of development for every worker and for every client of Braskem-Idesa. Therefore, we believe firmly in the collaboration between the public and what is owned and public owned, in order to have one same track to work together and who made with their effort this production which has now come true. And newly, we obviously hope that this Puerto Mexico chemical terminal would add more value to this port of Coatzacoalcos, and very soon it will be a key factor of the interoceanic corridor, and this project will be there in first line. This is obviously putting a landmark in the spot in the sustainable economy for the southeast of Mexico.
Ahora quiero invitar
Now I want to invite our economic and development economy representative.
Muy buenas tardes.
Good afternoon to everyone, all of you present here today, and obviously on behalf of the mayor of the state of Veracruz, and obviously she shares a very respectful apology for not being here today. In her representation, I thank your support for this project in petrochemical, and I thank Clento for the leader of this project, and for Alvario Figueiredo, Isabel, welcome to Mexico. She is the director of Basque Medicine, and to Mr. and obviously the General Director of Alvario, Paz. Thank you for being in Mexico and in Veracruz. I really thank on behalf of the state of Veracruz for your hospitality, and overall for your determination and commitment for bringing through this major production, this major project. And obviously want to thank the municipality authorities, these people here, the mayor, Amado Cruz, Malpica, and obviously the mayor of Nachitol, as high functionaries of the Mexican government and partners of this company who is now here today. Distinguished members of the Presidium, peers, and this is a day which marks the transformation of the southeast of our country. It's a day that reminds us that when a mission exists and commitment is there and work in teams and conjunction, everything can be done, everything can be fulfilled. This transcends and recovers life to the investments made in this area. I want to remind you that only in 29th of May 2023, we placed the first stone of this ambitious project, and we had a record time now. Here we find ourselves to inaugurate this important project, and obviously I congratulate all of you for your great work and effort. This investment, private investment, without precedent in this region, more than $250 million invested in this region. This is obviously placed as the point of the lands, and obviously in this project which is evolutionizing this area, and obviously for the supply of this matter, of this production. This can be translated in real benefits which are immediate for our economy. This is obviously an easy demonstration because during its construction, near 12,000 direct jobs were created, and obviously 7.8 working hours without any accidents. Obviously, this enormous social responsibility in the sense of belonging of Basque Mendoza and Alvario developed together during this project. Newly, or again, I congratulate you for your commitment, for your professionalism, with which you work together shoulder to shoulder. Obviously, this puts four important major constructions for the logistics of the infrastructure of development of ethane in this jetty number 8, which is within the infrastructure of top-notch and placed at the top of the order in the world market. Thank you for the conditions or exceptional conditions of the river of Coatzacoalcos, obviously giving life to the economy, to one of our main effluents in the state of Veracruz. Now, I wouldn't like to miss not naming the thanks and the appreciation of this region, especially coming from our government here in Veracruz. And we are not going to rest in continuing working and fighting in conjunction in order to continue with the actions we transform into reality of this territory. This way, the chemical terminal of Puerto Mexico is a key piece of industry for the development of energetic development and source in our country, with notable numbers in this area. This has the capacity to receive, to store, and transport up to 80,000 barrels of ethane daily, which are the equivalent of 6.5 tons per year. And they will be operated through a duct of 10 kilometers or 11 kilometers to the plant of Braskem Idesa. This is going to allow the industry to operate at 100% with a sure or secure supply of ethane to this terminal and to this area. It has two cryogenic terminals, top-notch cryogenic terminals, and to up to 50,000 cubic meters and at temperatures of below 94 degrees centigrade. Their efficiency, safety place us at the top in the handling of hydrocarbons. In this project, we have to believe it and we have to frame it under the context of what we have dedicated in these years before this project was built, and now after the project is finished, not only for the state of Veracruz, but also for the Republic in its total. This is a main key factor for the development of this Istmo-Tehuantepec corridor, building it as an strategic point for the development of this section of the country. Up to this day, we have had an important project and effort headed by Claudia Sheinbaum, our president, who recognizes this project as a top project and municipal authorities, but overall of work planning in the private sector and of the society, which has been well organized, where we are pushing the economic development and we are developing the southeast of this state, where we are developing sources of employment and where we are also fighting we are fighting in favor of equity for this area, this zone. We are now witnesses of how this vision materializes into this modern and top-notch developed project. This is our real present. Obviously, looking into the future, this is obviously handling optimized conditions in order to have a shared success, pointing at an objective and scientific condition, which is going to establish, obviously, adequate conditions for more investors to come to this area. Obviously, this is a great achievement. I thank all the workers, all the technicians, engineers, company owners and investors who made this project a reality. Here in Veracruz, this is what we want. People who build with responsibility, who bet on their people, who believe in their power, and we would like to this way continue walking together in a firm step, and obviously to make this area a more prosperous area, working together to boost the industry.
Muy bien.
Well, now, moving on, I would like to thank and give a special thanks to all the people who supported us, and obviously being part of this presidium, to all these authorities of all these companies, and a very special thanks to all of you, to all the people who accompany us today, being here. We know this is an important challenge, obviously, withstanding this heat we are now faced, that we are having here today, that Coatzacoalcos is welcoming us with, but we are about to finish with this event. But before finishing this event, I would like to have this very important mention. Today we have a very representative group of the people who made this project come true. But behind all of this and behind all of you, there is a very important group of people who put all their heart and effort and love within all these years when lasting of this project. All of these people who made this possible, this project possible, welders, carpenters, instruments people, etc. All of these people who put their hearts into this project, I please urge you to give them a big round of applause.
Muy bien. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Bueno, pues,
Now, well,
digamos que la
let's
parte
say
formal
that
está
the
concluyendo
formal
y me
part
gustaría
is practically
ceder
concluded.
la palabra
Now I would like to
a
give
Cleanto Leite, quien
the word
va a
to
dirigir
Cleanto
la
Leite,
siguiente
who is
parte
going to
de
lead
esta
the next
ceremonia
section
de
of this
inauguración. Cleanto, por favor,
inauguration
¿nos
ceremony.
ayudas?
Cleanto, please, can you help us with this second and final part?
Hola, hola. Bueno, aquí en
Here
México
in Mexico,
tenemos
we have
el hábito
the habit
hacer una inauguración,
to have
cortar
this
un
type of
listón, ¿no?
inauguration, to cut a ribbon with scissors and everything in order to celebrate. And maybe I am thinking that maybe instead of that we can have something a little bit more creative in today's inauguration. Therefore, I want to invite the secretary, also our manager Isabel and Baz. Can you step over here, please? We are going to cut this ribbon here with a lot of risk, maybe, but I believe, but I think this is going to be a fun cutting of the ribbon.
Sí. Entonces,
So instead of cutting this ribbon, we are going to fill our tank with Tqpm finally, or at last. We are going to get to fill this tank. Vas, Ernesto, could you please push the button in order to start filling our dear Tqpm tank? Maybe after three, after the count of three, everybody please count 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. And so this is our cutting of the ribbon, very differently, if you will, but this is the beginning of the pre-commissioning and commissioning operations of Tqpm in order to actuate and start our little tank, which is representing to create an inventory of ethane to supply all this industrial zone and sector, and obviously to contribute to provide in the development not only of our client here in Braskem Idesa, but as well as all of the companies in this industrial park here in Coatzacoalcos. So this is a proud day. This is obviously our ribbon inauguration, the cut of the ribbon inauguration, very differently. Our tank is now filling with the first product stored in our terminal.
Muchas gracias, Cleanto.
Thank you very much, Cleanto. Thank you very much. I want to mention that following this ceremony of inauguration, now next we want to ask the members of the Presidium to come to this part on the side when they are going to take the picture of this event. For the rest of our guests, please wait for us for a little bit after we take this picture, because we are going to have the last part of the session with a brief presentation and with a brief show of our national folklore with national and regional dances on behalf of the Mexican Chemical Terminal of Puerto Mexico. On behalf of our company, we thank you all. Wait for us for just a minute.
Decían que no hay hielo, no te toca porque no hay hielo. ¿Quieres la coca cerquita? No, ¿verdad?
Ya no.
Voy a buscar agua.
Aquí puedes ponerlos a la mesa. Gracias, muy amable. Aquí o ahí.
El fandango es desafío al mundo de represión. Es una libre expresión, voluntad del pueblo mío. Es el agua del rocío sobre el zacate del llano. Es palo fino, serrano, que tiene poder y gracia en ser una democracia accesible al ciudadano.
Thank you.